friends, how's it going today? I will be talking to you about how to move to Germany, mostly just from my personal experience, but also some of the knowledge that I have, because I have actually had a couple of people ask me how I got here because they are also looking to move to Germany, which is awesome, because Germany is just great. Here are some tips and wisdom that I can give to you on how to move to Germany, or just moving to another country in general, I guess, because a lot of these same tips apply for anywhere else. So let's just get started. Okay, so tip number one is you have to find the reason of why you are moving to a country. And as lovely as it sounds to just pick up and move somewhere, especially to Europe, things just aren't that easy. You have to have a good reason for why you want to move here. Either you are marrying someone from that country, like I did, or you got a job at a company in that country. I guess both are kind of hard. One, you have to, if you're going the marriage route, you have to meet that person and want to marry them. And the other route, you have to be invited by that company, and they have to have a good reason as to why they are hiring a foreigner and not a German. And so a marriage visa is, I would personally say, the easiest of all of them, but that doesn't happen for everyone, especially if you just want to pick up and move. And a work visa is fairly difficult to get. And then if you wanted to get a residential permit, that mostly just allows you to live here, but doesn't allow you to work here. Or there's like a volunteer year where you can live here for like a year, and you won't be getting paid, so it's almost the same thing. It's really kind of difficult visa-wise, and so definitely do your homework on what kind of visas are available in Germany, especially also in your state that you live in, because it varies sometimes from state to state. But yeah, just see which one would fit best for you and which one would be easier to get, especially if you're looking to move soon. So most of my tips will be coming from a marriage visa and how that all worked out and the papers that you'll need, although because I did try for a couple of visas before getting married, I kind of know that process as well. The best thing that I can really recommend is to get online. If you found a visa, look up what you need, what kind of papers you need in order to get that visa. A lot of visas require special residential permits that allow you to live here for a certain amount of time. They want to see that you have a lot of money in the bank, because you're not going to be able to work here, so they need to see that you're going to be able to provide for yourself. That means you have to start saving up early, because that can take some time, because just having $2,000 to $3,000 in the bank is not going to cut it. They're looking for double digits. Well, double thousand digits. So like over 10,000. Then when you come, they are also going to look for a proof of address, as well as financial statements, like a bank statement, how much money you have in your account. And from getting married, I also had to show how much money I've earned in the last 3 months prior to applying for a visa. And so from wherever you work, you'll get this handy dandy little thing on your paycheck that just shows how much you made that month or set of weeks. And I kind of just saved up 4 or 5 of them and I just sent them all. And there also just happened to be my address on there. So I was like, well, that's also proof of address, right? But I also sent some other things, like some mail from federal, from like important companies, or things where you just can't fake your address, and sent those as well. Sometimes your papers also need to be translated into German, and that can also cost some money. When you're getting married and getting a marriage visa, you have to have a copy of your birth certificate, and that also has to be translated, as well as a affidavit, which is basically just a statement saying that you are single and you have never been married, or if you have been married, that you are definitely divorced, you are in no way married at this point. And then you get both of those things notarized, and then after that you get them translated into German, and then you hand them over. So there's just like a lot of paperwork that you need, and the best way is if you know someone in Germany, definitely try asking them to just stop by their local foreigners office or town hall and having them ask the officers, okay, my friend wants to move here, what do they need? Because that was the best thing for me when I was in the States, having Misha be able to go to town hall and ask, okay, I want to get married to an American, what does she need for paperwork? And I was able to take care of that in the US because then I was getting like real answers, because websites are not helpful, and every time you try to call somewhere they're like, look at our website. They're not helpful, and I'm sorry. And it really sucks, but that's just how things go. So if I did not get married, and that wasn't the reason that I was able to stay in Germany, I would have first gone to a German embassy in the States and applied for a visa there before flying out here, trying to apply, getting denied, and then having to go back, because that's just throwing thousands of dollars away. Not smart. And so I almost did this. I almost went down to the German embassy in San Francisco, California, and I was going to make an appointment, and I was just going to stay there for 2 nights and go and apply for a visa there and get information, and then I would only spend $200-300 for a flight there and back, and it would have been a lot cheaper. Basically what I'm trying to say is, if you're able to, try and apply for a visa before coming here. And for Germany, if you're coming from the States, they'll all say, well, you can apply for a visa when you're there. But try to emphasize, I know, but I don't want to fly there and then get denied a visa and then have to come back. So try and explain that to an embassy, and I'm sure they'll be happy to help you. So there you go. After you've got visa stuff figured out and you're already starting to save up money, the next thing you want to do is, I guess, try and look up online when it's getting closer to the time that you want to leave. Try and look online of places that you want to stay, especially in the city that you want to live in, and I guess also work if you're getting a visa that allows you to work, and just seeing what's out there and already making appointments to view places. A lot of it was just dreaming before I came to Germany, of looking at apartments before I moved here. But it was also really helpful to kind of just see, okay, starting at this date, that apartment will be available, and that will be around the time I'll be there. So that's really helpful, because when you get here, it's possible that the places you're looking at won't be available for 5 months or even longer. Sometimes shorter, maybe they'll be available in like a month, but that means you kind of have to bum around for a while. And so it's kind of just nice to have the opportunity to look ahead, and that's also really helpful. Step number 3, if you want to move to Germany or any other country, please learn the language. So in Germany, especially if you're moving to a big city like Berlin or Munich, I guess, I hate saying it, but I guess learning German isn't necessary. However, if you like actually want to live there, it's always best to know the language. Because, I don't know, there's just kind of like this bad taste in the mouths of Europeans, or just people from everywhere across the world. And so a lot of Americans will say, well, I just speak English, and you're gonna have to speak English with me. And in big cities, I mean, you get around, but if you really want to like live somewhere, and you want to build friendships, and you want to have a good job, so if you move to Germany, you won't be surrounded by English anymore. So you'll basically be forced to learn German anyways. Even if you don't want to, you'll pick up on it. But I definitely recommend trying to learn the language before getting here, because that'll just help you a lot. And finally, when it's about time to start moving over, and you know that you have a place to live, and you have money saved up in the bank, you hopefully already have a visa, or you have everything to apply for when you get there, then it comes down to packing. And when you move to a new country, I mean, it's not like you're just moving to the next state where you can just pack everything in a box and shove it in a U-Haul and just drive over for a couple of hours. you have suitcases and you can't take a car with you and you can't take furniture with you. Basically, you're just taking clothes and other things you want, books or any other memorabilia or just things that you want. I took blankets with me because they just kind of made wherever I was feel more at home, and that's the most important. So after you've packed all of your clothes, make sure that you are taking things with you, decorations, whatever it might be, that will make wherever you're going feel like home. Because moving to a new place, especially a new country where you don't really know anyone or know anything, it's always best to have something there that will make you feel comfortable. Because when you're out in the world, it's kind of like real, it's reality. But then you want to have a place where you can come back home and you're like, okay, here I can be myself, here is home, and you just feel good. And so blankets were a thing for me. I brought pictures, a lot of books, but I only had 2 big suitcases. I flew premium economy, which is awesome. Totally recommend it for long flights. So my first suitcase could be up to 75 pounds, and I booked a second suitcase which was up to 50 pounds. So I was able to take a lot of stuff, plus a carry-on. And so if you think about it, that's a lot of stuff you can really bring with you. And first you want to sort through your clothes. Get rid of things you don't need because you'll be buying a lot of stuff anyways when you get here. And so that dress from prom, you don't need it. You can, however, the stuff that you don't take with you, initially you can pack those in boxes, and maybe you might have a friend or a family member that can store those for you. If not, I hope you can find some kind of storage unit, or you're just gonna have to say goodbye to a lot of stuff. So my parents have boxes of things of mine that I really want to keep, but I got rid of a lot of stuff. I sold my desk, a lot of like furniture things that I didn't need, and I also got rid of a lot of like memorabilia things from like middle school that I was like, that's sweet, but I really don't need that, and it doesn't need to be in a box that will take up my parents' space. So I kind of just stuck to things that were really important to me, a lot of books, and other memorabilia, clothes, things. And so my plan is that whenever I go back to Oregon, that I will be able to take stuff back with me, or when a family member comes and visits me, that they might be able to bring stuff with them as well. So it's kind of like a slow process of slowly moving my stuff over here. But I've noticed that since living here for a year and a half now, the stuff that's in those boxes I haven't needed. Mostly because I've bought things here that allow me to survive. A lot of stuff there, I don't need them, but they're still things that I wish I had, and mostly just my books. I really miss my books. So if you're able to, bring everything you need first haul around. And if you're not able to store any kind of other stuff that you aren't able to fit into your suitcases, then there's also always the possibility of just shipping them. Would not recommend it, because my friend who moved to Estonia, she sent some boxes, and there were some vases in there, or just some like memorabilia stuff, and almost all of those things broke. So that is not something I recommend to anyone, unless they're like really small packages where your mom might be able to send you 3 books, which my parents have done for me a couple of times. And so small packages are fine, but if you're like looking for like big boxes that you want to send your stuff to this new country, think about all the trucks and planes and wagons or whatever those boxes are going through and how they might be handled. So I guess it's fine if you are putting like blankets in there or like clothes, but don't send decorations or fragile memorabilia. Bad idea. So that's kind of moving to Germany 101. If you have any more questions, I hope I covered everything that you might need to know. But if you have any more questions, just ask me down in the comments. I'll be happy to answer your questions. And if you need someone to go to City Hall for you, I'm willing to be that person. But I don't know how many of you are gonna watch this and be like, yes, I need you to go to City Hall in Munich. I don't know if that will be something I would be able to do. However, I'd be more than happy to call for you. Yes. But if you do move to Germany, or if you are living in Germany, let me know. I'd love to meet some more Americans or expats from the US or any other country that has moved here through marriage or work or just picking up and moving. That's pretty much it for this video, and I will see you guys next week. Take care. Bye! You can try new foods, try new languages, try different